Hello friends, today our topic is the basic problems on probability, and that is based on the classical approach of probability. Particularly, we are today discussing about the problems based on the mutual exclusive events and the addition laws of probability. In the last video, already we have discussed what is the meaning of probability and what are the four main factors of probability, that is experiment, outcome. Experiment, that means always an unbiased experiment. The outcome, the observable results. Sample space, the set of all observable results. And different type of events. That means the basic terminologies of the probability has been discussed in the previous video. When we are discussing about the events, we can say there is a simple event, compound event, equally likely or equiprobable events, favorable events, exhaustive events, complementary events, and mutually exclusive events and independent events. Today our topic is based on that particular event, that is known as the mutually exclusive. And what is the meaning of mutually exclusive events? Now, when one event is occurring, another event cannot occur. And for the independent events, the events are occurring independently. And mutually exclusive events give us the birth of addition law of probability. So let's start. Particularly today, we are proceeding with the classical approach or the mathematical approach or the priori approach of the probability. And under this approach, the probability of an event is known before conducting the experiment. Let A be any event, then the probability that is written in that notation P of the event name is equal to number of the favorable outcomes and divided by the total number of outcomes, and that is also mathematically m by n, where m is the number of favorable outcomes and small n is the total number of outcomes of the experiment. Let's start with an example. Suppose the first one example, find the probability of head in the toss of a fair coin. So at first we have to find out the sample space of that particular experiment. Already we have discussed the classical approach gives us that before the experiment we can find out the sample space. So here already we are not proceeding with the experiment, but we can say that there are, for that experiment the sample space is head or tail. So the sample space is the collection of head and tail. Total number of elements in the sample space, we can use it by the cardinality of the set theory. That means the result is 2, the total number of sample points also. So n is equal to 2, and those all are equally likely and mutually exclusive and exhaustive outcomes. Why equally likely? Because there is no preference that head would be or tail would be. Head and tail had the same preference, so those are equally likely because that is from the same experiment. Mutually exclusive. Why? Because when the head is occurring, that is impossible to tail occur or tail to happen. So those are the mutually exclusive. When tail is occurring or tail is due to the result of due to the experiment, head cannot occur. So those are mutually exclusive events. And exhaustive outcomes, exhaustive means because head and tail, that may be the outcome individually can come. So one outcome H is our favorable to the event A. So that is the description of the event A. So toss results in head. When we are just tossing the coin, we are getting one head. If that is our favorable event A, that is n of H is particularly 1. So the probability of getting head, the event name that is getting head, is equal to PA is equal to M by N. Now the favorable outcome is equal to 1 and the total outcome of the sample space is equal to 2. So the result is according to the classical approach of the probabilistic model is half. So we may proceed to another example. Find the probability that a throw of unbiased die results in an S, an even number or a multiple of 3. So particularly there are 3 problems. Now when we have an unbiased dice, that means there is the possibility that any one of the 6 values of dice can from the experiment can occur, and those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the sample space is, if we use the cardinality number, is equal to 6, total number of sample points in the sample space. Now suppose the first problem, an S is particularly the number 1. So we are defining, suppose that one event name as A, throw result in an S. Suppose we are defining the event, that is second, an even number with the event name that is B, and for the third one a multiple of 3, throw result is a multiple of 3 by the event name C. So the first problem, an S. Now 1 can happen only once among the 6 operations. So the probability is 1 by 6. 6 is the number of sample points in the sample space, and 1 is our favorable outcome number, that is particularly 1. So the probabilistic result is equal to mathematically 1 by 6. So the next one, throw result is an even number. Now the even number is containing, that means 2, 4 or 6. So there are 3 number of sample points. So n of 2, 4, 6 or the n of the event B is equal to 3. So the probabilistic result gives us 3 by total number of sample points in the sample space, or the result is 3 by 6 or half. Third question or third event, that is a multiple of 3. Now when we are proceeding with the multiple of 3, that event, we can get 2 numbers, number 1 3, second one 6. So n of that particular event, that is defined as C, is equal to 2. So the probability is giving us the result as 2 by 6 or 1 by 3. So now we are proceeding to the next problem. Now the next problem describe a bag contains 3 white, 4 red and 2 green balls. One ball is selected at random from the bag. So that means there is a bag and which is containing particularly 3 white, 4 red and 2 green balls. So total number of balls here is equal to 3 plus 4 plus 2, or that is 9. Now the question asks, find the probability that the selected ball, that means one ball have to be selected. We are selecting one ball. The first problem is that may be a white. The second problem is non-white. The third is white or green. The bag has total 9 balls. So that is our particularly number of sample points. Total number of elements in the sample space, that is 9. Now we are defining the events. That means selected ball is white with the event name, that is W. Non-white NW, and selected ball is green by the event name G. So the first one, a selected ball would be white. So total number of white balls in the bag is equal to 3. That means N of W is equal to 3. So the probability of getting a white ball is equal to our favorable outcome, that is 3, and total number of samples points in the bag, that means 9. So the result is 1 by 3. Now the second question is non-white. Non-white means it may be red, it may be green. So we are just have 9 balls and 3 balls are white. So the non-white ball means 9 minus 3, that is 6 non-white balls. So the probability must be P of NW is equal to favorable outcome 6, total number of sample space 9. So that is 6 by 9 or 2 by 3. Now the third, the ball is green or white. White or green. That is total favorable outcome is equal to, for white there are 3 and for 2 there is mean for green. So total number of favorable outcomes are 5 and total number of sample space 9. So the probability is 5 by 9. Now once again, white or green. Already we have discussed in the last video, when we have event A or B, we may say it as A union B. So we will now proceed to a new discussion. And always remember, when we have A union B, that is event A or B both. That means union for or. And A intersection B, that is event A and B. That means intersection is meant for and. So now we are discussing about the cardinality law of set theory. Now the cardinality law of set theory, when A and B are both sets, we can say N of A union B is equal to NA plus NB minus NA intersection B, where A and B are sets. Now when A and B are the events, we can simply write according to the cardinality law of set theory, probability of A union B or A or B is equal to probability of event A plus probability of event B minus probability of the event A and B, that is written as intersection. Now if we have A and B, that means both the events are mutually exclusive. We already know when A and B are mutually exclusive, that means A when happening, B cannot happen. So there must be no common part among A and B. So A intersection B must have a phi according to the set theory, or according to the probabilistic result, that must be 0, because P of phi is equal to 0. So when A and B are mutually exclusive events, the above formula of the P of A union B is equal to PA plus PB minus PA intersection B give us that particular result as 0. So we can say when A and B are mutually exclusive events, PA union B is equal to PA plus PB, and this is also known as the addition law of probability. And so addition law can be derived from the mutually exclusive events. Now once again, according to the law of cardinality from set theory, if we have the same way probability of if A, B, C are three events, then we may write it as A union B or union C is equal to PA plus PB plus PC minus PA intersection B minus PA intersection C minus P of B intersection C plus probability of A and B and C. And same for when there are four events A, B, C, D, as according to the cardinality law. We may write PA plus PB plus PC plus PD minus PA intersection B minus PA and C minus PA and D minus P, B and C minus P, B and D minus B, C and D. Now three events, that means plus P of A intersection B intersection C plus B intersection C intersection D plus PA intersection C intersection D plus P of A intersection B intersection D, and finally the minus of P of A intersection B intersection C and D. And as usual, if A, B, C, D are all mutually exclusive events, then according to the addition law, PA union B union C is equal to PA plus PB plus PC, because all the intersection between the events are becoming, as for probability result, 0. And same for the 4 events, and that happens also not only for more than 2 events. So if there are 5 events and all the events are mutually exclusive, so we can write it just as addition of each and every event's probability. The next one, the complement law. Already we know it, but once again, if A is an event and A bar is its complement, then also we may write it as A complement or A dash. Then PA, probability of event A plus probability of the complement of the event A, is equal to 1, or PA complement is equal to 1 minus PA. So suppose we are proceeding an example. Suppose the event A is just giving us that throwing 3 or higher with 1 dice. Throwing 3 or higher. So according to the experiment, we have the sample space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means n of s is equal to 6. Now the event is giving us 3 or higher, so we may get 3, 4, 5 or 6. So n of a is equal to 4 sample points. That means cardinal is 4. So the probability of that one is equal to 4 by 6 is equal to 2 by 3. Now suppose another example, another event B, throwing exactly 2 heads with 3 coins. Now when that is our sample space, that means T T T T T H T H T H T T T H H T H T H T H H and H H H. So B exactly 2 heads, that means H H, H T H, T H H, exactly 2 H. So total number of NS is equal to 8, and our favorable n of B is equal to 3. So give us the result as PB is equal to 3 by 8. Now the next question, suppose next event throwing a total of 14 with 2 dice. If we are proceeding with the 2 dice, that means the result may be 36, total number of sample space or sample points. But it is not possible to get 14 with 2 dice, as the maximum possibility is 12, because it is 6 plus 6, that is maybe maximum 12. So there is no outcome, there would be no outcome which give us the result of summation of the two dice faces numbers as 14. So no outcome means 0. So the result is just like that, 0 by 36, or P or 5, or result is 0. So proceeding to the next problem. Consider a pack of 52 playing cards. Now when we will deal with the problems with probability, there are so many problems based on the fair playing cards. Now there are so many of you that do not know anything about the playing cards. So we have to discuss a little bit about the playing cards. In any number of playing cards, there are total number of playing cards are 52. There are particularly 4 types of cards are there. Number 1, that is spade. Okay, and that is just like that. Second one is heart, and that is just shape in that way. Third one, dice, or that is also known as diamond, and the shape is just like that. And fourth one is club, and the shape is just like that one. Now spade is black and club is black. Heart is red and diamond is red. Each and every type of card containing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. J or for jack, Q for queen, and K for king, and another one that is A or known as ace. So if you will find there are particularly 9 number cards, and those 3 are called as face cards, because you will find there are the pictures of faces of jack, queen and king on that particular cards, and that one is also known as ace card. So total 13 as like for spade, total 13 as like for heart, total 13 as like for diamond, and total 13 as like for club. So total 13 into 4 or 52 cards. So we have to remember which are the known as the face cards, which is known as ace card, which are the number cards. Number cards start from 2 to 10, and face cards are from jack to king and ace card. So now the problem. Consider a pack of 52 playing cards. A card is selected at random. That means from the pack of cards, we are just selecting one randomly. What is the probability that the card is either a diamond or a 10? Now we are defining 2 other events. Number 1 event, we are defining it as D, that is diamond is selected, and 10, T for 10 is selected. Is that the 2 events are mutually exclusive or not? So what is the question? The card is either a diamond or a 10. That means the question is or. When or, we are writing U or intersection sign. So a diamond, the event is D. For 10 the event is T. So our question is particularly what is the probability of diamond or 10. So according to the addition law, so we have to find out P of D union T. Now P of D union T is equal to, according to the law, P of D plus P of T minus P of D intersection T. Now we are looking at the card structure. When a diamond is selected, suppose that one is diamond. Okay, the same way. Now it may possible there are 13 diamonds and total number of cards are 52. So when we are picking a diamond card, there is the possibility we are picking from the 13 cards. So that is the probability of diamond. Now when we are picking a 10, there are how many numbers of 10s? 10 for 1 10 for spade, 1 10 for heart, 1 10 for diamond, 1 10 for club. So there are particularly 4 10s among 52 cards. Now another one, P intersection D, that means T intersection D, that means a 10 and that is called as AND. So according to the English language, if we think that must be a 10 and a diamond, and there is a possibility that 110 belongs to the 13 cards of diamond. So there is among the 52 cards, in between the 52 cards, there is one card that is 10 and diamond, and that is the possibility 1. So those events are particularly not mutually exclusive. When we are picking a 10, there is a possibility that that may be a diamond. When we are picking a diamond, there may be a possibility that we are picking a number card 10. So those events are not mutually exclusive. So it's a diamond and 10, D intersection T may be 1 plus 52. 1 by 52. So P D union T, that is our problem. P of diamond plus P of T minus P of D intersection T. Once again, among the 52 cards, there are 13 diamonds. So P of D is equal to 13 by 52. Among the 52 cards, there are 4 10s. So that is 4 by 52. Minus among the 52 cards, there is one card that is diamond and number 10. So minus 1 by 52 and give us the result of 16 by 52, and that is the answer. So we are proceeding to the next problem. The next problem asks a bag contains 20 balls. So total number of sample space is equal to 20. 3 are colored red, 6 are colored green, 4 are colored blue, 2 are colored white, and 5 are colored yellow. One ball is selected at random. Find the probabilities of the following events. First event, a ball is either red or green. So at first we are defining the balls are denoted by the letters R for red, G for green, B for blue, W for white, Y for yellow. So the first question is the ball is either red or green. So that means the probability of red or green. So next, if we think about when I am picking a red ball, when you are picking a red ball from the bag, there is no possibility that you are picking a green ball or any other ball of any other color. So all the events are here mutually exclusive. So when P of R union G are red or green, did give us P of probability of R plus probability of green. And according to the problem, there are total 20 balls and how many number of red? How many number of red? There are 3 red colors balls. And green, how many number of green? 6. So the result must be 3 by 20 plus 6 by 20 is equal to 9 by 20. So the next ball or next problem. The ball is not blue. When the ball is not blue, that means we may say it as the ball is either red or green or white or yellow. So there may be a possibility red or green or white or yellow. Otherwise, it may also be written as not blue or complement like. So if we can find according to the complement law that P of B complement is equal to 1 minus P of B. So not using that way, we are using that way. Now PB is equal to how many? There are PB for, that is in 20 number of total balls, the number of blue balls are 4. So P of B complement is equal to 1 minus P of B, or 1 minus 4 by 20, or particularly 16 by 20 is the answer. Here B complement and 1 minus PB, or that is 6 by 20. So the next problem, the ball is either red or gray, white or blue. So that means the problem is we have to find out P of either red or white or blue. All the events are mutually exclusive. So we have to find out the total numbers. Red are 3, white are 2, that means 5, and blue are 4. So total 9. So that means in that way 3 by 20 for red, for white, for blue. The answer is 9 by 20. So we can proceed to the next problem. In a single throw of 2 dice, now we are throwing 2 dice. What is the probability that neither a double nor a sum of 9 will appear? Now the question is just changing here, nor. Neither a double nor a sum of 9. Suppose we are proceeding with the event name D, that is double is thrown. Double means it may 1 1 or 2 2 or 3 3 or 4 4 or 5 5 or 6 6. Now when we are throwing 2 dice, for a single throw of dice the result is 6. Now for the 2 dice the result must be in the total number of samples points in the sample space 36. So among these 36 outputs there are 6 outputs, those give us the double. So for PD the result is 6 by 36. 36 possible outcomes in an experiment in which all the outcomes are equally probable also. And N, that is the sum, is 9. Now the sum is 9 can happen for 6 and 3, 5 and 4, 4 and 5 and 3 and 6. So there are total number of that N for N is equal to 4. So that is 4 by 36. Now those events are mutually exclusive or not? Yeah, those events are mutually exclusive, because we can find here that not any double can give us the sum of 9. Again, when we are getting any sum of 9, there is no particular double. So those events are mutually exclusive. So when we are proceeding with the words probability of a double or a sum of 9 is equal to PD plus Pn minus P of D and double and 9. Mutually exclusive, to give us the result 0, 10 by 36, 6 by 36 plus 4 by 36. But that is not the question. The question is double nor a sum of 9. So that means the complement. So probability of double nor 9, because the dash has been given. So that is 1 minus probability of double or 9 are equal to 1 minus 10 by 36 or 26 by 36 is the answer. So we are proceeding to the next problem, and that is very interesting, because from very childhood, when we are reading the physical sciences, we have seen that most of the household electricity connections are made or connected in parallel fashion. That is the one reason is here. That is also described here by the probabilistic result. In the below diagram, two independent components A and B are connected in parallel. The circuit functions if either or both. Now the question, or both of the components are operational. That means when A or B both are operational, then the circuit is okay or functions. It is known that if A, capital A, that is the name of the event, component A is operating, and capital B is the name of the event, component small b is operating. Then also given that probability of A is equal to, that means the component A is operating 0.99, probability of B, that means component B is operating 0.98, and probability of component A and component B, because intersection means once again and component B is operating is 0.9702. Find the probability that the circuit is functioning. Now just read the line. The circuit functions if either or both. Or means, that means we have to find out A union B as or. We have to find out that one. So the probability that the circuit is functioning is equal to P of A union B. And in words, either A or B or both must be functioning if the circuit is to function. Now using the key point, probability of A union B is equal to PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. Already given the values, PA is equal to 0.99, PB is equal to 0.98 and PA intersection B is equal to 0.9702. Now after calculation we are getting the result as 0.9998. Now look at the result. When A is functioning, the result is 0.99. When B is functioning or operating, 0.98. When A and B both are functioning, that is 0.9702. But A or B functioning, the result is particularly greater than each and every one. So that's why in household the electricity or the electric components are connected in parallel. Not surprisingly, the probability that the circuit functions is greater than the probability that either of the individual components functions. So that is another reason why we use the household electricity connections in parallel, not in series. So next example, once again according to the card. A card is drawn at random from a deck of 52 playing cards. What is the probability that it is an ace? Now ace means once again A or a face card. Okay, K, Q, J or J, Q, K. F means, suppose for F we are defining it as for the event face card, and for A we are defining the event name as for the card is ace. So probability of F is equal to 12 by 52. How many number of face cards? Each and every one has 3 face cards. Now there are 4 types. So total number of face cards are 12. So that is 12 by 52. Ace card, each and every type containing one ace card. 4 types. So total number of ace card is equal to 4. So 4 by 52. Now the question is, what is the probability that it is an ace or? So or means we have to find out A or F and probability. Now PF union A is equal to PF plus PA minus PF intersection A, or face and ace. Is that the two probabilities are mutually exclusive? Yes, because when we are picking an ace, there is no possibility that it must be a face card. When we are picking a face card, there must be no possibility that it is an ace card. So both the events are mutually exclusive, because once again the mutually exclusive events are those when one event is occurring, another event cannot occur. So give us the result as 0 for the probability. So finally the result is probability of it is a face curd or an S curd is equal to 12 by 52 plus 4 by 52 is equal to 16 by 52. So we are proceeding to another problem. The following people are in a room. 5 men who are aged 21 and over. 4 men under 21. 6 women aged 21 and over. 3 women under 21. So we may write it like 5 men under 21 and over. Okay. 4 men under 21. Next, 6 women, those are aged 21 and over, and 3 women under 21. Now, there are 4 events are defined. The person is aged 21 and over, that is defined by A. So, if we define the aged 21 and over, so the person may be a male or a female or women. So, aged 21 and over, 5 men plus 6 women. So, that means total number A, particularly N of A, is equal to 11, 5 plus 6. Okay. Next, B, the person is under 21. That means it may be men, it may be female. So, under 21 NB is equal to 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. The person is male already, that is the thing. That means N of C is equal to 9. The person is female, N of D is equal to once again 9. So, the total number of persons or the total number of sample space 5 plus 4, 9 plus 6, that is 15 plus 3, that is 18. So, total number of samples points or the persons in the room are 18. Now, the main question. Evaluate the following. P, B union D. So, B union D, if we say it in word. So, at first, B union D, B or D, that is PB plus PD minus PB intersection D. So, if we think about PB, total number are 18, B means already we have found 7, so that is 7 by 18. D already we have found 9, so that is PD is equal to 9 by 18. Now, say it that one in words. Probability of B means the person is under 21. The person is under 21 and intersection means and. The person is under 21 and the person is female. So, that give us simply in English language, the person is under 21 and the person is female. The female persons under 21 and the female persons under 21 give us 3W. That means 3 women are under 21. So, if we write it, that is 3 by 18. So, P of B union D is equal to 7 by 18 plus 9 by 18 minus 3 by 18, or the result is 13 by 18. Now, the next one, P A complement and or intersection C complement. So, once again we are saying it in according to the words as like in English language. A complement. What is A? The person is aged 21 and over. So, that means A complement means the person is under 21. Once again, A means the person is aged 21 and over. So, A complement means the person is under 21. So, we are writing it. Probability of the person under 21 intersection, that may be and. C complement, what is C? The person is male, so C complement means the person is female. So that give us the English language, the person under 21 and the person is female. So that means the female person or the women under 21, and that is simply we can say 3W or 3 women under 21. So P of A complement intersection C complement is equal to 3/18 or 1/6. So today, up to that, in the next video we will discuss about the independent events and the conditional probability, and also that will give birth the multiplication rule of probability.